Hello, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are in the world. Welcome to the Business Brunch, live on LinkedIn, YouTube, Facebook, across the world. I don't know where you're watching this, but hello. And it's our birthday today. Happy birthday to us. Happy birthday to us. We are a year old. I mean, not obviously us, but the show. We're much older than that. Oh, look at the wrinkles. But yeah, we are much older than that. But we've been going for a whole year, ladies.
A whole year. Isn't that amazing?
It is amazing. It is amazing. I know when we started this a year ago, it was. I look back at some of the first shows. Oh my god! I mean, we've really evolved, and actually, we've just updated our strapline as well to connect, learn, and evolve, because it is all about an evolution, and the show is evolving too. So, in the last year, we've shared with you over 40 hours worth of content. Ideas, examples, learning, knowledge, inspiration, skills, and some of that we did ourselves. And a lot of that came from our lovely guests as well too. And we're going to continue doing that. But because when we started this, we wanted to be your working from home team. We still want that. But we did a lot of waffle. It was kind of to make people feel safe and comfortable because they were working from home alone. Now we're moving towards the hybrid model. Most people are not working from home every single day. And we also know that everyone's really, really busy and doesn't necessarily have 45 minutes over lunch to sit there and consume all these bites of wisdom and knowledge that we're sharing. So we are going to make some changes. They're all on my post that I wrote this morning. So go and have a look at that on LinkedIn if you haven't seen it yet. The show is going to be shorter. It's 30 minutes. It's going to be more concise. It'll be bite-sized chunks of just lovely learning and knowledge for lunch or brunch or whatever you're eating or not eating. And we're going to cut straight to the point. So we will literally start with a hello, who we are, which we'll do in just a second, because some people are stumbling across this for the first time and haven't got a clue who we are and what we do and why they should even tune in or stay tuned in. And we just want to make this even more useful, more helpful, more valuable for more people for the next year, and keep providing quality content, quality learning, quality knowledge, information, and inspiration to those that want to grow, develop, learn, evolve, and also connect with each other. I think that about covers it, doesn't it? I will just quickly introduce myself and then hand over to my amazing co-hosts, Vanessa and Melinda. But I'm an executive coach, and I focus on helping senior leaders and executives develop the mindset and the skill set to allow them to be the best leaders they can be, run the business as well as they can do, and achieve phenomenal results with the confidence as well as the competence that they've already got. So that's really my bag. I've just written a book on taking control of imposter syndrome, which will be out at beginning of 2023. And I'm sure I will be droning on about that merrily for quite a while. Vanessa, who are you? Where do you come from?
Where do you come from? I'm on blind date. Is that blind date? That's going back a few years. I'm really showing my age. Goodness me. Right. I'm Vanessa Ashworth. I'm a B2B marketer. That's my thing. And I step in to make you or your company stand out. So that's that in a nutshell. That's what I do. It's all about value propositions, customer journey mapping, and all those wonderful things. If you look back at any of our YouTube channels or LinkedIn, you'll see all the different things that we've talked about over the past year, and helping you make stand out on LinkedIn too. That's been quite a thing, isn't it? And doing videos, the confidence to do videos. So that's who I am in a nutshell. Melinda.
And actually, just a very good point, Vanessa, is that everything we've done is recorded. So there's so much, I guess, free learning there for you to find, to use. So if you can't find it, get in touch with one of us. We'll direct you to different places to find everything that we've already covered.
Just before Melinda carries and tells us who she is, make sure that anyone watching is telling us who you are in the comments. Please do say hello, and we'll read those names out shortly.
We should say hi.
Melinda, who are you?
Hi there. My name is Melinda Ward. I am the Director of Consulting Solutions and Managed Services for Helm 360. And to this show, I am bringing a background in consulting, implementations, business transformation, technical transformation, digital transformation, all the transformations. And that's something that I really enjoy, is helping people grow their skills. And learning how to innovate, promote innovation, promote creative thinking in business, and just kind of optimizing things and making it all run that little bit better to give you the edge. And that's true whether you're a small, independent, single person company or a giant firm or part of a giant company. It doesn't matter. The same principles apply throughout. So a little bit of a different background today. I'm broadcasting from a secret location in Luxembourg as a one-off. Normally I'm joining you out of London. And I was going to say, just think back to a year ago. I mean, we were still looking at lockdowns. We're still looking at work from home. We're still looking at people having a lot of isolation and dealing with that. And that's why our initial format was much more, chatty and informal, because people were craving connection. Now we're going out and doing things and we're out and about. So that need for some form of connection to another human being is a little bit less, but the need for knowledge and learning is actually greater, because right now with all the negative news that everybody is seeing, there's added pressure to do more with less.
Yeah.
And so we're optimizing our show to help you do more.
God, she said that so well, didn't she? Very good. Very good. The secret location is working for you, Yoda. And if you didn't see last week's show, don't be surprised if you look back at it and see Melinda as Yoda and Vanessa as a huge bear monkey thing.
Gorilla. I was a gorilla.
Sorry, gorilla. Anyway, listen, 7 minutes has gone already. We love to talk, but we are going to get to the point. So say hello if you're out there. Let us know you're out there. We asked you today what questions you got from us. You've got You've got a coach, you've got a marketer, you've got a strategist. It sounds like a sort of a joke. They walked into a bar. What questions have you got for us? We have questions. We've already had some questions, but anyone out there? I can't see what's in the comments, so let me know. Is anyone saying hello?
Oh, right. Well, we have.
Sorry,
go for it.
So Kimberly's here and she says congratulations. That's our first day. And Johnny Walker, it's a shame he's not here. He could sing.
Oh, he's singing to us.
You have a gorgeous voice, Johnny. Thanks, Johnny. Thank you. Okay, so ladies, looking into 2023, before if you're watching this and you've got questions for us, please just ask. But I've got a question for you, Vanessa. And it's something quite close to my heart at the moment, because I'm really trying to figure out marketing. I'm not a marketer, and I'm a one-woman band. Mm-hmm. What do we need to do in 2023? I mean, what are we getting wrong? What are we getting right? I've got lots of questions, but just talk to me about. Help me. What do we need to do to be better at marketing?
So it's all about cutting through the noise, isn't it? It always is, because there's a lot of content out there. And the answer to being visible is getting content out there to get eyes on you. But there's a lot out there. And because of that, because of this need to be more visible, there have been lots of ways for people to fast forward that. So there's, you see now artificial intelligence content generators to create content for you. People have been doing lots of performance marketing, so paying for that space on social media to be seen, and kind of cramming pages with the right keywords to get to the top of those searches. But I guess what we're seeing more and more, and what we will see more and more, is that Google and those search engines are getting wise to the tricks. Mm-hmm. And so AI content generators, for example, are great at bringing forward these ideas and creating this content, but there's very little differentiation there. So, and to make that connection, like Me, Know Me, Trust Me, if you read AI generated text, it's probably not going to have that much personality there. Mm-hmm. So what is it again?
Can I ask you a question though? Because I'm sorry, this is really thick. But is AI generated content the same as automated? So if I wrote, say, 6 messages to go out to people, automated, because I haven't got the time to literally press send and go to everyone, is that, I've written them? They're my words. Is that the same as AI?
No. So AI generated text. I've not used the tools, but you can kind of plug lots of words into it, and it will spiel out a content, a blog for
Really?
you. Very, very nice stuff. Yes, but
It's awkward.
it doesn't. It's getting better, but it doesn't have that tone of voice. I was at a benchmark conference last week, and a gentleman, and I've not got his name, was talking about authorship and the importance of authorship and how this will become more important in the future. And so creating content for your brand, you want to have your name with it, your tone of voice, your personality, and then it will be seen as more authentic. We heard just this last week about Airbnb, and they've celebrated the fact that they've cut their marketing spend because they've cut out their pay-per-click on Google quite drastically. Again, they're going for brand building marketing rather than paying for that space. It isn't always going to work for everybody, because if you've got nothing to differentiate you, if you're working in a pool of everyone who looks like you, and there are lots of markets where that is the case, then you're probably still going to have to pump money in to get that visibility if you can't stand out. But I would say certainly as an entrepreneur, as a small business, you are different. You are you are unique, and lean into that for your marketing, your tone of voice, your brand, and get your style of content out there, and don't follow what other people are doing. Be unique, because that is what's going to make you stand out.
Yeah, I think that there's definitely space for automated assistance for people like Sarah, who are small businesses, and maybe for an Instagram post or something like that, where you want to say, send me a DM with the word strategy in it if you want to attend a workshop. And by doing that, it would trigger an automatic response with, say, a registration form.
Yeah.
Right, perfect. Because someone is asking for that information. And so it's not their first touch. I think the AI generated things don't resonate because if it's the first touch, it seems impersonal. It's because it is. And it's just less of a human connection. And I'm not saying that to be anti-AI. It's like, it could be great. Let's use it in the right place.
Yeah.
For the right purposes. You can't outsource everything to the machines just yet. They're to help, not to originate at this point in time.
Yeah, it'll be interesting when they actually get to a point where they can absolutely replicate what you would say and do. I mean, if anyone could actually replicate my brain, I'd be scared, to be honest. I mean, I wouldn't want to go in there and replicate it. But okay, good. Have we got any questions coming in, or anyone saying hello before?
We have a few more people joining us, definitely, and saying hi. We have Paul has said hello. Hello, Paul.
With his you.
We have a check-in from Chris. Hello,
hey,
Chris.
Thanks for joining us. Don't worry about being late. That's all right.
Yep.
You'll be put on detention, but it's okay.
James Schreiber is saying congratulations and thank you very much for the greetings.
Thank you.
And we have a question from Kimberly today. So, what is the best way to deal with someone who always suggests that you are dumb because they don't understand vision, presumably your vision? Not a bad person per se, but doesn't know what they don't know.
Oh, what a question. Can I add my
thoughts? Sarah.
As the coach, I'm looking at you for this one.
Yeah. I'm thinking this is your wheelhouse.
Right. Can I have the question back, please? Sorry.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah.
We'll just leave that up.
The best way to deal with someone who always suggests that you are dumb. Okay, the first thing I would say is, if I was coaching you, Kimberly, is always. Does it feel like it's always? How often does it actually happen? So the first thing I would suggest is, to manage your own emotional self-control towards this, your own reaction to it is, how often is always? Because we often go, I say often, sometimes we'll go, oh, that person's always horrible to me or rude. And you go, always? They've done it once, twice, but the memory is so big that we're making it bigger than it needs to be. So first of all, check that. How have you decided that they're suggesting you are dumb? Is that your perception of what they are doing? So you'll notice I'm actually talking to you now rather than solving the what do you think the problem might be? We need to figure out if this really is a problem. So how have you decided that what they're suggesting is that you are dumb in the first place? Have they said to you, you are dumb? If so, that is proof that they are saying you are dumb. If they have said some other stuff, it's worth exploring. What have they said? How have they said it? How's it landed on you? And why has it made you feel like that? Because there might be something behind that. All right. How do you know they don't understand vision? That'd be my next question. So this may sound like I'm diverting from your question, but actually there's so much underneath this. There's so much biased thought, perception, belief, self-limiting belief in us already that it only takes.
That's everybody. That's not just.
Yeah. Oh, sorry, not just you, Kimberly. Me, her. We've all got it. We see things a certain way. We're born. We start to download all our information into our supercomputer. It creates our beliefs. We then use that belief system to filter, generalize, distort information that comes in. We make sense of it through that filter. And if that filter isn't correct, which it often isn't because it's full of what we believe to be true, we come to a conclusion that this person doesn't have, I think we've lost Vanessa, her connection was bad. This person is saying I'm dumb and yada, yada, yada. So I'd ask those questions. Now, let's just assume, she's back. Let's just assume that they do always do it, as in it's really regular. They are suggesting you are dumb, there is no doubt about it, and that they don't understand vision, is I would talk to them and let them know that you're finding this frustrating. This is what you're hearing, this is what you're feeling, this is what you're seeing, and you're finding it uncomfortable and frustrating. Explain the problems that it's causing you and see how you can work together to sort it out. I would want to know why this person is always suggesting you're dumb. What's behind it? How does it help them? How does it serve them? What are they doing that for? Do they even know they're doing it? One of my very, very best friends who has long gone moved to New Zealand, not because of me, just because she when I first met her, I didn't like her very much because I kept feeling that she was putting me down, and I thought she was always making me feel that big, always. I had a conversation with her saying, what is going on? Why are you doing this? She was mortified. She had no idea how she was coming across. We had a big chat about it. It never happened again. We became the closest friends ever. Misunderstanding, biased thought are often a problem. It may be her communication style as well. So if you don't know about communication style, versatility and preferences, have a look into that, because it may just be she's communicating in a way that's different to you, which makes you feel uncomfortable. And she doesn't know that she's doing that because you don't both know about communication versatility. Wow. Sorry, that was a lot, wasn't it? So
it was
a bit of self-coaching there, Kimberly, and then some thoughts on top of that. Hope that helps.
Yeah, I mean, so it's just like if you go to like 3 people go to the cinema on 3 different days and see the same film, get together later, one person will be like, oh man, that film was amazing. Somebody else is going to say, it was all right.
Yeah.
And someone might be, oh, that film, what were you thinking? I didn't like it at all. I nearly left halfway through. But it's funny how people can all have the same experiences, but come away with very different perceptions of it. So
what is in here, this filter is incredible. And it doesn't always work in our favor. Sometimes it does. Sometimes it's really, so, it'll stop you doing really bad things and causing harm. That's great. But it does lead to a lot of misconceptions and bias. Vanessa, what were you going to?
Sorry.
No, just, obviously you're a coach and this is what you do. And so you approach that in a very different way to what I would do. But I mean, I bow to your wisdom, really. It's that whole inbuilt understanding, isn't it? It's these lenses that we put on these things where we accentuate the negativity when actually there might only be a little bit there, or there might be none there at all, but we can't help it because we are our own worst critics, aren't we? And
we feel we are our own worst critic, and what you said there is spot on. It's seek first to understand. What we tend to do is because we're our own worst critics, and we've all got a little, maybe not a little bit of the imposter, but often we do feel a little bit of self-doubt. We're almost waiting to be told we're not good enough. We don't like it. Where that comes from doesn't matter. That's a whole different topic. But we immediately go into fight or flight mode when something like this happens, which means our ability to communicate and handle that situation is massively reduced. Our tension has gone up, their tension goes up. So if you meet at high tension, guess what? Nothing gets resolved and you don't find out the truth. So the first step is manage your own truth, manage your own feeling, calm down, then have a conversation that's very grown up. It's not judgmental. And it's really hard to do, but wow, is it rewarding when you get it right.
Yeah, and we just recently had within my company, we did an all-company meeting with the leadership team, and one of the messages that we put out, which I think is important for like globally, is, and this is going beyond Kimberly's own question, but it's on the topic, and it's assume positive intent. And if you go into conversations and if you go into discussions and taking feedback from people, that word feedback, with a positive intent, assuming they don't mean harm, that they don't mean a negative thing, that can change how you take on board that information that you receive. Now, will it be wrong sometimes? Absolutely. Sometimes people won't have a positive intent. But generally speaking, if you start from the positive assumption and then get proven wrong, you're going to have much more positive results in work and in personal life, as opposed to starting with the negative assumption and wanting to be proven positive. It's much more different to prove somebody positive than to prove somebody negative.
Here's the thing that I learned a while ago, which changed my perception on this, which is even a murderer, where am I going, has a positive intent.
Well, look at the TV show Dexter. That was all about that.
The positive intent is to cause harm. It's still a positive intent. We assume a positive intent means it's positive, as in it's a good thing. The positive bit of the intent is my intent is to do this. It doesn't mean it's a good thing. However, I like that is that you're getting people to think that it's not always going to be a bad thing, and to go and discover and to go in with an open mind, which takes immense emotional self-control, immense self-belief, something that we can all work on more and more. So we become more resilient, so we can go and ask for feedback and hear it for what it is and not go, or I'm running away, which, I'm usually her. And then after 5 minutes go, oh, hold on, remember the coaching, calm down. Cool. Any other questions, thoughts on that come in, or any else?
Nothing that I can see at the minute. But there was a question that you raised that your father raised, which it reminds me of what we're talking about now, and it's how do you set priorities when everything's a priority?
Yeah. So Vic, this one's for you. Vic asked me this last night. He's like, I've got a thing for your business brunch. He's our #1 fan. And he said, I want to know how come you have a priority list? I sit down to start my day and then things happen. Events get in the way. How do you stay on track? Because I never feel like I've got anything done. I don't know if I'm the right person to answer that, but what do you think?
So I was reminded of that last conversation about that going in with positive intention. And I at the minute, I think another thing is overwhelmed, isn't it? We've got so many priorities. How do you define what you need to do? And I think at the beginning of every day, because I know I'm going to get distracted, I know I'm going to get pulled on different things, I will try and think, okay, what do I need to get done today? What does good look like? If I can take that off the whole list, and that's how I try and keep myself focused. So on Mondays, I set my intentions for the week, but on a day-to-day basis, it's more task-oriented. And I think if I've got this done today, I've stepped forward, made progress.
So what I'm hearing that, just before I go to Melinda, is that it's realistic. Yes. And it's acceptance that the day is going to be disrupted. It's when you're consistently surprised by the fact it's been disrupted, and then you go back at the end of the day and think, well, I didn't achieve what I wanted to achieve. So if you are realistic and you accept that it's going to change, then you can look back and go, I did really well today. I expected that to happen. Melinda, what are your thoughts?
It's tricky.
Yeah, it is.
I really wish there was an easy answer. I think one way is to perhaps look at all the things you'd like to get done and take it from a scale, a sense of scale. Okay, what is the definition of done for these things? Is making some progress helpful? And maybe that's something where, okay, you don't have to, it's not possible to finish a whole project today, but would it be okay, and would it be a reasonable measure of progress to do the initial outline today? Then you tick that box and move forward with a different task. So sometimes the people make these checklists, these tasks, and they make them for very big chunks of work. And that doesn't give the scope and scale to be agile and flexible when the randoms come in and take priority. And then you feel like, oh, I didn't get this big 4-hour task done. My day is a waste. But if you'd been able to break that down into smaller, say, 1-hour chunks, maybe you could say, okay, well, I didn't get half of it done, but I did make progress in this area. And that sometimes for me helps me stay a little more positive on things. And it also gives you more flexibility to move the components around. So I think,
yeah, what you're saying, what I'm hearing from you then, is to look back on it and give yourself a pat on the back for the bit you have done, because we're so busy looking at what we haven't done and what we've missed out on that it can feel like a failed day, when actually it's been a really brilliant day, because we've accepted and we've acknowledged and we've been ready for the fact it's going to be disrupted.
Yes,
there's your answer.
And making the list achievable by putting in reasonable sized tasks that can be moved around when they need to be, or reallocated to different days when they need to be, and looking at discrete deliverables to feed into the bigger tasks instead can be a useful approach and can help you feel like you're making progress. And it may also highlight areas where, depending on your individual situation, you might be able to delegate some things, maybe to a virtual PA, maybe to a colleague, coworker, whomever. There may be a few things where you can get it started and then somebody else can give you some support on that.
Cool.
So comments have come in from Jay, who says, good afternoon and happy birthday. Think about the word priorities. What does that really mean? You can't have several priorities, otherwise they are not priorities. That's easier said, because when you work with people, they've all got priorities and you're needed for all of them. You can't only have 3 priorities, really. Everything is a to-do list. And I suppose my problem is it's too many priorities that you can't manage, but you have tasks with deadlines, which sometimes means, as I have been, you get dragged into delivering to deadlines, but actually long-term strategic, really long-term strategic important stuff gets left.
Yeah. That happens a lot.
It's hard. I mean, I was talking about this with my dad last night, and we were talking about the fact you kind of have your burning bridges one, where you've got to do it or everything's going to just fall to pieces. So that's when a problem comes and you have to deal with it right away. But then, do you really have to deal with it right away, or do you feel that you should? That's the first thing. Then there's the what's going to make my business keep growing and going, and then what's nice to do. And I kind of thought, I'm sure there's a matrix. I've only got 3 boxes there, but I'm sure there's a matrix somewhere that somebody knows about. But yeah, I mean, realistically, Jay is right that you can't have that many priorities. You can have a whole list of really important things to do, but there will be a time when that needs to happen before that one. Otherwise, that one won't happen. And you've got to figure that out. And I guess if you know what you're trying to achieve in the long run, that is the real trick. Is most people don't really know what they're trying to achieve. So
something that I read this week, I think probably on LinkedIn, is that we all overestimate what we can achieve in a year. We all do. When you make that yearly plan, you just go wild. But we all underestimate what we can achieve in 10 years. That's interesting, is it, looking at that long ago? Yeah. But, we're almost at the end of time. Doesn't 30 minutes go quick?
It does. That's what I was just going to say. Speaking of priorities.
Listen, let's draw this to a close. We've got to do what we said. And Stephen Covey, of course he does. Stephen Covey has everything. Thank you, Jay. Can you ping that over to me if you've got it? That would be great, and we can share it on the. Actually, if you do it on the post about today's show, that'd be great. Then everyone can see it. Thank you, Jay. Next week, I was thinking we might have a little chat about getting ready for New Year's resolutions before anyone else starts talking about it. because we're all great at leaving things till the last minute, aren't we? What do you think, ladies?
Either that,
Hmm.
or which with something that ties in with it, getting ready for the review season.
Oh, yeah. Okay, listen.
A lot of people are coming up on that performance review season, whether it's their half year or full year review, goal setting and professional development, but also tooting your own horn and making sure that people are clear on what you've achieved.
Love it. Listen, anyone that's watching, anybody watches this on catch up, we want to make this as useful for you. Thanks, Jay. As useful for you as possible. Tell us what you want to learn. Tell us what you want to hear. Tell us who you want to hear from. Tell us if you've got something you think is worth sharing. We'll have you on the show. We're not here just to promote big brands and people with 50 million followers. We want real people talking about real stuff to other real people. Although if you have got 50 million followers, do come on. That would be helpful. Yeah, we're over time. Thank you for joining us today. Hope you enjoyed the bite-sized chunks for brunch. And we look forward to seeing you next week with some more amazing chatter and information to inspire you for your week. Have a good rest of the week, everybody.
Thank you, everybody.
Thank you. Goodbye.
Cheers. Bye.